Yeah.
People's yards.
It's 4:30, call the meeting to order. Let the roll call show that all councilors are present. Rise if you're able for the pledge of allegiance. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
in order. Take it in, Michelle.
Okay, so we just have two items on the agenda today. Both were brought forth, asked to be on the agenda by Councilor Taylor, just because he's new and he's learning, and so,
I wanted to not bother Michelle with 80,000 emails as I had a follow-up question to a follow-up question to.
that's okay. That's what we're here for. The council probably recalls that the discussion of adding members to the PUC has been an on again, off again, on again, off again kind of discussion topic over at least in my tenure. I was always under the impression that you needed legislative action. I forgot in a conversation I'd had with General Manager Butcher that there was something floating through the legislature and it actually got passed. So a copy of the relevant statute is in your packet today. So the council can, by ordinance, add additional members to the PUC. However, if you wanted to reduce the size, then that would take a voter referendum. So that's my introduction. I don't have a recommendation. It's just for the council to discuss and provide direction to the staff. So I'm turning the floor back over to the electeds.
I was just hoping for conversation around it because as I was looking through the reviser's website for the state of Minnesota, it mentioned that it apparently had gone to the legislature and had a first reading but wasn't necessarily decided on and was just kind of sent to state and local, it says. The article I was reading says back in March 25, MMUA supported putting the language in to allow this. Just from what little information I could find, because there's no preference of 3 or 5 or 7 of how many members on a board. They all have their pros and cons. My thinking was just with 5, if commission members wanted to attend our meetings, they wouldn't accidentally have a quorum. If we were discussing their business with them present and they were engaged in that conversation. Other pros and cons are if for 3, if one member can't attend and they only have the 2 members, then that's like a third of your board is missing for making a decision. Another pro for 5 was that it says diverse opinions. If we have participation and interest in participating, that would allow for more voices to be heard and be involved. But it's not that like one is bad, one is good. It's just that you have the option for 3 or 5. It also includes 7 in there, but it says the more folks are involved, the less swift and effective you are in making decisions, because obviously more voices will be heard at the time. So that's just where I was asking questions about this, where my understanding was that we didn't have the ability to make a change like that or even really discuss doing so. And then like Michelle was saying, it's a 2025 legislative thing that came up where folks were able to have this language now. Not that I'm saying anything has happened here, but it says having the ability to change this. There's MMUA is saying that local actors don't have an easy route to pack a commission if the city council is trying to push through their agenda and allow a little more independence with the commission versus the city council. But yeah.
Well, it has been a discussion for years, but it never it never happened, like we never pushed it through to get it established, but I've been in favor of having a 5-person commission as long as I've been on city council and used to sit in on the meetings. I think it's a good idea. I don't necessarily see a reason to have 7 by any means, but 3 is difficult. So anytime one PUC commissioner speaks to another commissioner, it's a violation of open meeting law. It's like they can't even have a conversation without it being a problem. I just think it would be a really good idea. I don't know of any other commissions that, and I haven't done a lot of research on it. It's been years since I was really dug into it. When I was really hoping we could get it done years ago. I don't know of any other ones. I only have 3 people on it. None of our other boards have just 3 people on it. I mean, all of our other boards have 5 to 7 people on them. I just think it's a good idea, like you said, to get more ideas and more input and more, let more people get involved. And I think the more people that get involved would see, like there was a time where, everybody was, complaining about the PUC having the highest rates and all that stuff. And they did a really good job of getting information out to people. But I think if there was a few more people in there, they could help with those kinds of things as well.
The word of mouth.
Yeah. The reason why I kept being told they didn't want to go to 5 was because not enough people applied. And I think a big, huge part of that problem is the time of day the meetings are at. They're at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. So if anybody works outside of Princeton, they can't apply to be on the board because the meeting's in the middle of the day. So you either miss a half a day or you have to take a whole day or whatever. I don't see any reason why that meeting couldn't be at, let's just say 5 p.m., 6 p.m., 7 p.m., whatever. That's the same time as all of our other meetings. We don't have any other boards that have meetings at 1. I think if the time changed to a more reasonable amount of time, it would open up an opportunity for a lot more people to apply and have some input.
Nobody else?
Can I ask, General Manager, are you familiar with other municipal utility commissions, how many board members they
I'm
have?
just here to observe at this point.
Okay. So I can maybe look into that as well, seeing what some of the other ones have.
Well, if that's a question for the council, I mean, I'm making notes and we can provide that information back to the council.
It seems to me that 3 members has been working well up until now. And especially with a lot of the projects they got coming up and everything, as you said, and that the 3-member board is usually a little bit quicker to keep things moving and get some stuff done. I think that would be important too. Also, it'd be nice to probably hear from everybody in that as well. If there's a chance we could have to meet with everybody and kind of see what the opinion is of the commission itself, I think would be important.
And then also, do we have any additional folks applying to be on the board as of yet? Sorry.
Well, right now
Okay.
we have one seat open and 2 people applying for it. But like I said, I don't think people apply for it because of the time of day the meeting is.
Well, would changing the time of the meeting, can we look at possibly changing the time of the meeting as a start and kind of see if that sparks any additional interest? Just by changing the time of the meeting doesn't seem like that big of an ask. Is that something that we're able to do?
It'd be a commission decision.
Yeah.
We stop and start at making appointments, that's it. Stop and starts. And the commission makes their own, they're their own internal government, and they make all their policies and
But we can make a recommendation or give an ask.
Derek
There's
is
nothing wrong with that.
anything.
I was speaking, Mr. Mayor.
Oh, I'm sorry.
And you know, like you said, you think 3 works well and 5 might take too long, but like I said, none of our other boards have 3 people on it. They're all 5 or more, and there's a reason why boards are set up that way, to get more. Like, can you imagine the EDA or the planning commission only having 3 people? Like, you know?
Which I get, but I don't see a glaring issue right now as to why we would need to change that, is where I'm getting at.
Erica?
I think it's good to know that there's the option, but I do agree with Ben. I haven't seen or heard of an issue with there being 3. And I mean, even if changing the time, I mean, we still have, we had to table everything because we didn't have enough people applying for the boards that are later. So I mean, I don't know if necessarily that the time is, I don't know that it's necessarily that's the issue of people applying, because I mean, like I said, we have open seats with later times that still don't have people applying. But I think I think as far as making this big of a change, a conversation with the standing commission would be, I mean,
It's a change that can be easily enforced, but not reversed.
yeah.
I think that's very important to look at.
Everybody done? Well, my other suggestion would be that we're looking at changing something that's been in place for, I don't know, about 100 years. You know, it's been working okay. I would suggest to make this big of a change, I think we need a lot of people, a lot of outside involvement. I would suggest we do a special meeting. It would include the city commission, of course, the council, somebody from MMUA or an outside that could give us answer, somebody has a question about, usually about other commissions.
Yeah, subject matter
Or
expertise.
have some neutral but professional opinions.
Mhm.
And we could include a citizen group, either a public hearing or have, I mean, the citizens spoke loud and clear a few years ago and they voted not to abolish the commission, so.
Yeah, I just want to be clear, I didn't make a proposal to immediately change it. This was more like
That
for
would be my-
studying materials, for me to learn.
And was it your thought that we should change this before we make our appointments for this year?
No, we had mentioned that if we were to want to
We
make a
can't keep,
change like
we
this.
can't keep changing stuff in midstream.
What do you mean?
Well, the process is out there, the application process,
Mhm.
and it is what it is. We're gonna change it for the next appointment.
Right, yeah, no, it wouldn't necessarily be immediate. That's, I guess, what we were discussing for was if that were something that there were interest in and we were to want to do it, then that would affect how many seats
So
would
I
be.
guess I would hope the council would want to have a meeting with a lot of involvement.
I'll just say
Either a
that,
work session, special meeting, I don't care.
I'll just say I've been on, this is my 8th year, and I was the liaison for the PUC board for, I don't know, year and a half, 2 years. And I can tell you it would be very beneficial to have a 5-person board.
Sure. Anything more?
So to summarize what I'm hearing, so typically, Keith and I work with our respective bodies to schedule an annual meeting, joint meeting together. Usually it's midsummer, usually June, July-ish, depends on what's going on their side and our side. We could very easily get that scheduled. We already have a topic for March. Mr. Grant from Connexus will be in. So we could put together something. I can work with Keith and we could have a discussion at a joint meeting in May or June because I'm hearing that for this year, we need more discussion and more input from others and then learn more and then we can make a final presentation as to where we want to go for subsequent years. Is what I think I'm hearing from.
That's, yeah, where I'm at. I wasn't making any action immediately, but if we could learn more about what folks are already doing and like MMUA, what they
Yep.
recommend and
Okay.
stuff like that.
Your action item, so that, or not an action item, but discussion item, so does that satisfy you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Anybody else have any other thoughts?
Okay, so Keith and I will work
You
together
get
to
work, I guess.
put something together? Yes, okay. He's nodding at me, so. All right, well, that takes care of that topic.
All right, snow removal. And yours also, or?
Me again. I was just,
That would
yeah.
be, that would be.
No, I just, yeah, I mean, that could be even maybe like an offline conversation with Bob, but just, I was wondering, I know there's
Well,
background.
since we have two other new people, it's probably good to have an online conversation
Sure,
with
that's fair
everybody.
too, yep. Just not knowing, I know there's history with the county in terms of Mille Lacs when they come through town and plow. And that we've handled things for some times and they've handled things for some times and generally Rum River Drive should be their responsibility, correct?
Well, actually, it just reverted back to us.
Okay, so that's, I'm glad I asked them, yeah.
Yeah, so.
Can I ask a quick question first of all? Are you referred to just like the commercial district or the
Yes.
entire town?
My main focus was commercial district. So like, especially with what's in the packet is like, businesses are responsible and residents to take care of the sidewalk within 12 hours. And so my thinking where this was coming from was just seeing like seniors getting out of cars to go into like the Chinese place and having those like, I guess, hills to get in when folks push it onto the road. And I was just wondering like whose responsibility is it? And could we work something out where that's cleared off into the road faster and whoever's coming through can just take it with them, kind of thing.
So historically, the city had done it from 1982 until, I forget here, I think it was 2014, 2013. County took it back over because the rates they were paying the city, reimbursing the city for snow removal off their roads, they hadn't been touched.
Oh,
I mean, well, the old original rate.
Yes, and so.
Set it and forget it, that's what
Okay.
used to happen here.
And that's the bad thing, so.
When I tried changing it, one of the outgoing public works director was talking to the incoming public works director and said he's gonna charge you. So I'd given them a number. And he said, that's all he's gonna charge you? Take it. The incoming public works director said, no, we'll do it ourselves. That's where the service fell off that the downtown business owners were getting. Is that the county isn't tooled to do cleanup as quickly as we are.
Right.
So typically we plow the whole city in one shift to come back the next day and do cleanup. And it works for us, and the business owners they understand, get it out to the curb, we'll pick it up and take it away the next day, weather pending, but typically it's the next day.
yeah.
And we haven't really had many issues with business owners not being compliant with that. It's just, yes, you do get that one ridge, you'll have it for 24 hours or so. Depends if it goes away.
And on the practice, usually when you do the curb removal at night, that there's no cars around, no parking, you can probably do it in half the time if you were trying to fight traffic all day.
As long as
I
I've
wouldn't be
had
able
help.
to do it.
So
But I mean, Todd, wouldn't have people out there still.
we haven't had it, usually we'll start at, depending on the size of the snow, we might start at 2 or 4. Sometimes we just use a box plow and push around the corner and load out the loaders. Otherwise, we'll roll it into a windrow and load it into trucks, which is actually very efficient, takes a lot of the air out of the snow, and you're not, It really compacts it. And it works for us, but, and then the city does for sidewalks downtown, we do the 2 malls
Mhm.
and the library. And here around City Hall.
Yeah.
That's what.
And I'll say back when that was, how it was handled, definitely noticeably better, I would say, in my opinion. Like you're saying, that the county isn't necessarily as swift to respond as like you're saying you can be. And it was just, that's where it came from for me, was I was just noticing it like, different.
And we're working on a good working relationship with the county again, and it's, you know, it's getting better. Like I said, the city is taking it back over, so we're back to what you were used to years ago.
Yeah.
And there again, I had another question for clarity. You're talking about the curb but the actual sidewalk in front of the business, as it stands now, is business.
The adjacent property, correct.
So were you talking about maybe the city doing the sidewalk too?
Not necessarily, just the.
That's
I
the
guess-
biggest thing I hear.
Yeah, the remnants of what, if they got it done, getting it off of, in front of their storefront, what our response is kind of what I was more worried about. But yeah, I mean,
And so what I do, a lot of times what I do is when I have my crew go out, I tell them, you know, keep it away from the curb so that they've got a place to stack the snow in it. And if we have to tighten up those drive lanes a little bit and the parking lane gets a little bit narrower because you got a ribbon of snow there on the passenger side, that's fine, because the traffic will find its way down the center. There's plenty of room width-wise for those lanes to run together
right.
for a day. But yeah, I've strongly encouraged my staff to not deposit snow onto the sidewalk.
But then you go back the next day and you do cleanup.
Yes.
Yeah,
And I would say, Mr. Mayor, members of the council, from county to city, communication is much easier with city to city.
Oh, I bet.
In regards to like, they'll call us, hey, we're going out, we're gonna start here. We go start trying to move
Yeah,
cars,
coordinate.
knock on doors, that kind of stuff, right? And then, we hand out, I would say, majority of our non-compliant sidewalk people are not necessarily defiant. It turns into, we just had one where they changed managers at one of the businesses, and it was more of an educational piece. They're like, oh, yeah, I saw that bill, but I didn't know that was, you know, so like just talking to them. So I mean, like people just saying, no, we're never gonna do it. We really don't encounter much of that anymore. I mean, back in the day, sure.
Sure.
And I think we handed out quite a number of tickets when we really started enforcing the sidewalk piece. Now it's become, I don't know if we've issued a citation in a couple of years now, just based off the fact that the conversations are always pretty good. But of course, remember those conversations, like it may take a couple days to catch it, you know, kind of
Sure.
thing, where all of a sudden, you know, oh, that you just drove by there. I think South Casey's might have been just the last one, new management, and then they had a new plow company.
Okay.
And the plow company wasn't aware that they did the sidewalk, so they came back right away, but it took 3 or 4 days to
Sure.
communicate that with them.
You know, when you talk about the actual sidewalk removal, we could build a room up, I think, if we open that discussion, because that's the main thing I hear, I mean, businesses,
Well, we did the
What
VFW
line?
breakfast and the sidewalk wasn't cleared off and we got all the folks coming in and I'm just like, what the heck, guys? And so I just went out there, stopped washing dishes and started shoveling snow.
Yeah, well, it's part of owning a business in
you
town.
know, I mean, it's a discussion that I wouldn't be opposed to having if the rest want to, but the residential, I don't know.
Right.
Absolutely not.
I mean, yeah,
I don't want them doing my side, I got sprinkler heads and I don't need nobody out there ripping, you be fixing lawns all summer if we start doing sidewalks for residential.
would it be something where they could go by with like that sweeper and if it's not a lot of snow, just so it doesn't turn into ice kind of thing? Like I've seen the city like show up.
You mean on the sidewalks that aren't our responsibility?
Yeah, like the business.
The difficulty we run into is the equipment we use is, I mean, it's difficult because of when they design the street, the way the street lights are.
Sure.
to get around those between that
Yeah.
and the fence. And then now if you start putting awnings in,
Mhm.
adding that into it, as well as business fronts that kind of stick out in some areas,
Yeah.
it gets to be a little bit cumbersome. And I just, my biggest concern is when we're using the equipment we have, it's not efficient for it. If we
Okay.
were to take on more, we'd have to look at a true sidewalk machine,
Mhm.
which are a true articulated sidewalk machine that can really get into some tight spaces is around $100,000.
Plus you need another guy.
Yes.
Right.
So,
Yeah,
against
and we
it.
supposed to, believe me, I've heard that, but where are we supposed to put it, because the snow is up to the curb already, and the ordinance says that they have to remove the snow to the curb,
Mhm.
so, and of course, I would like to have something to complain about, we don't have.
Just stack it higher, we'll get it.
I do have, some of my customers have businesses downtown, like in Wisconsin, and stuff, out of Princeton.
Mhm.
And they'll pay $25 a month or something, and it goes into a fund. And then that fund is like their wrestling team comes out, and after a snowfall, the wrestling comes out and just hammers the sidewalks, and they're done, and they're paid for. And then that money that they get goes to their fund or whatever, for their some kind of fundraising that they do for that. And, I mean, I don't know who would organize that, I've never asked, I mean, I could look into
Good
something more on that.
downtown business, don't they have a?
Yeah, if it's a chamber thing or something, where they get hey, guys, pay us, for these 4 months, pay us X
And I
amount a
can see
month.
the wrestling team doing it because the hockey players aren't that strong.
Yeah. That they try and slap it with their shoulder.
They'd be fighting. I was gonna say, we used to, so the sports programs, and actually they still do this, they do, not a fundraiser, but they do like community service. So like, for example, the boys' high school team, they have, I think, 8, 9 people residential, where they'll go and do
Right.
their, the kids keep shovels in the driveway, and then that's part of their community service. Fundraising, I mean, there's, my suggestion would be, if that's something that you're looking at doing, it's a simple email to the activities director, and then he just puts it out to all the coaches.
Yeah.
And booster clubs that are attached now to all these programs, that's something that they would be able to organize.
And all that really would do is just be able to hammer it out all at once, right after a snowfall, and then come through and do it. And then you don't have to worry about that guy that's late or whatever, and I think you could probably look it up pretty quick. And, $25 probably doesn't seem like a lot to shovel it all, but when you got 10 kids with shovels, it's done in 2 minutes.
It's like adopt a highway, but adopt a sidewalk.
Right. And if you had a map of kind of the sidewalks that needed to be done, and just, here you go.
Well, and to be honest with you, each sports team could take 1 year where you're just getting all the businesses and.
Right.
I mean, when you have 35, 37 hockey players, I think they're close to that number for wrestlers. It's not that.
Football?
Yeah, I mean, the girls probably will do a better job than the boys.
Doesn't Haventrail Farm, don't
I
they
see
get
that
football
one.
teams?
Yeah.
It'll
be much neater.
Because we can't necessarily like donate.
Right.
Yeah.
But,
Well, the different retail businesses, some don't really have a lot of foot traffic, but some that do. I mean, I think they themselves wanna
Yeah.
get out there.
You would
And
think.
against snow events, they don't punch the clock. They happen when they happen.
Mhm.
So it's a struggle to, the timing and stuff. So.
And then if they're signed up for it, then they don't have to worry about any kind of fines or warnings or anything like that for not doing it. It's just,
Mhm.
done.
it's always done. And if you can make it, not ridiculous amount to charge.
Well,
I
you
don't
kind
just an idiot.
of touched on something I thought I had known, and Damien's not here, he'd be the one to answer it, I guess, but if we did assume the sidewalk itself, cleaning, would that change our liability, or, I mean, how does that lie anyway, I guess? 'Cause we actually own the sidewalk, right? I mean, the businesses don't actually own them.
Accounting,
They're actually county.
Oh, okay.
yeah.
So that would be a question for them, I suppose.
Huh?
That then begs another question, is that if it reverts back to the county, then the sidewalk end up goes away.
So we should, I guess, we defer businesses to the county if they want to hire somebody to plow them or whatever. I mean,
Well, they could, I mean,
well, I don't know, I'm just throwing stuff out there.
yeah, well, I think, Ben has kind of got somewhat of a right idea, but, I mean, the businesses downtown could just as easily find a contractor to do it as well. They could jointly hire the same
Cause I've heard
contractor.
that comment, I'd be willing to pay somebody, well, hire somebody.
Hire someone.
Well, it would make more sense if you had a group of people, you could defray the cost over, however many businesses or whatever, so.
I mean, do you have anything to hear it, you haven't jumped in?
Not, I think that would be a really cool idea to have the sports teams have the opportunity. I just know being on those sports teams years ago, if somebody doesn't show up, well, then you got two parents who, well, the rest of the kids didn't show up, so I guess it's us, we're just doing the whole thing ourselves. So I mean, I think it's a great idea, and it'd be a good thing for the business too, to be able to put back into the community. But I just don't know how, with it being technically county, how that would legally work out, I guess.
Well, and just for point of interest, the county did not have a sidewalk ordinance in place for clearing snow until
Yeah, I can
they took it back over. And so the county actually basically plagiarized ours. And so their sidewalk ordinance is identical to ours.
Well, and it's gotta be done within so many hours, so I don't know if we're having groups come, like how that would work.
Right.
It'd be difficult because
It
if you
would
think
be.
about it,
School, and then.
if the snow isn't stopped and they're in school, like, that was always our problem, where we had to try to get super unique with getting kids to the residents, so to speak. Yeah, I mean, it's,
I go back to that.
as you said, it's, the organizer parent is always the one that takes the,
So yeah, hockey team, right?
and I'm gonna go there and say absolutely, because Dylan's all over this.
I mean, I guess if some event is happening during the day and the businesses are open, aren't they gonna wanna keep their storefronts clean? I guess if I had a business, I would.
Right. Take some pride.
So I mean, how do you,
Well, I mean, they could still keep it clean throughout the
well,
afternoon or whatever, but then at night before.
When we managed the
Here
American,
comes in.
nobody shoveled our
No.
sidewalk.
And like a snow
I was out
membership.
there in.
Yeah.
like
Everybody
the
pays a
old
fee
skirt,
and then they hire somebody.
shoveling the snow off the
Yeah.
sidewalk.
Multiple people are,
But are they gonna keep
should you be
cleaning
doing
throughout the
that?
day
Don't you
too,
have
or-
somebody for that?
Nope, nope.
They're gonna do it, you know?
Yes, I do.
I'd like to negotiate a contract.
I would say that, so we have renegotiated, as Bob said, the agreement with the county, so the new agreement goes beyond just snow plowing, it's, taking care of striping, broken signs, there's a whole laundry list of things that are in that agreement, but I would say that, at least City Hall, the last two big snowfalls where we declared the snow emergency, we didn't get any calls at City Hall. I don't know, Bob may have gotten one or two at Public Works, but, I think that people are much happier with the city service that they're getting in terms of snow removal.
I had one complaint, is that the backup alarms on our equipment out.
so they really get run over, huh?
I mean, the only ones that complained were the police department, the ones we towed, so. Sure.
Well,
But the towing went down considerably in the fact that we've, maybe our second time we've done this. People seem to follow the direction of social media when we say snow emergency. That, like, we have less problems than just keeping it vague and just trying to plow snow.
yeah, I would concur that, I mean, just driving in from outside of the city and coming in after those two snow plows, it was, I mean, I was very impressed with how clean the streets were and how things looked,
Well,
so.
and To me, that's been the biggest improvement since we took it back, is it went back to the way it was when we did the curbing. That's, I mean, you come in the morning and it's clean. It's clean. It's gone. And that wasn't the case when they called me in.
Right.
They plowed, put it up, piled up on the side street and, or whatever, various.
And then they bought a loader that died or whatever.
No, I've always been impressed with the way that we took care of the curbing part. I mean, all, well, in general, but that's the big thing that I think been very good at.
I think it's an age-friendly thing as well, with that being a priority to keep it clean. And this was an idea before we got all the snow, where I was like trying to worry about it, but I hadn't seen the work that was coming because I wasn't aware the city was taking it back. I just was dreading what was coming. And so,
Well, and during the snowy event, you know, they have to plow, they try to keep up with it. You gotta put it somewhere. You can't haul it away as soon as you're done plowing. You gotta wait till the snowy event's over.
I don't know, my mom got a kick out of 7th Avenue when your guys were working in tandem going down the road. She's like, look at how effective they are. You know, going that way and this truck's going over there.
That was Paul.
They got it.
Yeah.
Took you a little bit.
I know, I was trying to think of who to go with. Paul, and then I thought we were gonna-
I'll date myself, which I tend to do. I remember hauling snow with Barry Hatch's single axle trucks and Hanson's loader on Saturday afternoons. If you don't think that, why this town is even alive today?
In spite of ourselves.
And we went down to the South Park, down that icy hill, coming in, going out. It was exciting.
I'm sure.
So, yeah, anything else? I mean, I don't know I mean, obviously this year is gonna be the way it is, whether we're halfway through winter, hopefully, or over.
Nice today. Yeah, I mean, we weren't, again, there was no recommendation, it was just an opportunity to share information and learn some stuff.
Yeah, get me caught up.
Well, the guys want to reach out to see if there's any interest in something, I don't know.
I don't know if the chamber would organize it, I mean, you know, if they wanna talk to somebody or if there'd be an interest.
Through the summer, I mean, before we get into the next snow season.
Yeah.
All right,
I don't know, anybody else got anything?
I got nothing.
Motion adjourned?
Motion to adjourn, second, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Ed, can I close this?